Those of you that are returning and those of you that are new, welcome to my platform. My name is Astraea Love, and I'm going to be doing a psychic tarot card reading for you guys today. So again, I hope everybody has had a good day wherever you're at in the world, you guys. God bless you. Peace be with you. Know that I am always praying for you guys, and I'm always wishing well for everybody. All right. So please know that my readings are timeless, which means whenever you get to this reading, there's going to be messages in here for you. I suggest that you stay to the end. Watch all of the readings on both platforms. I have this platform, which is called Astraea Love, which is what my name is, by the way. And I have another platform called the Psychic Tarot Angel Oracle. On the other platform, I use tarot cards and oracle cards. And so on that platform, we're working to getting the channel monetized. We're not quite there yet. YouTube has like they say it's a month-long process, but I swear it's been over a month. So, I mean, it feels like it has. I don't know if it actually has. I'll have to look at my emails. But they will be eventually approving the channel to get monetized so that I can accept super chats. So for any of you that have any personal questions, this is the platform that you want to ask those questions. But I don't do readings for free. Well, I do these collective readings for everybody for free. That's my gift to the world. But if you have any personal questions, send me a $20 super chat with your question, and I will pause the collective reading, and then I will set a 20-minute timer, and I will answer your question, okay? All right, that's the way that I'm doing personal readings. If I repeat myself, it's just because I know that new people are coming into the chat, into the reading. All right, so thank you guys for being here. I love you so much. Peace be with you. Okay, so I'm just making sure my cards are in the upright as usual. All right, so you know, I was talking about the books that are linked in the description box below at the beginning, but now I'm going to be doing it at the end. So I do have, so just to let you know to stay to the end if you're interested in the books that are in the description box below. The first one is The Truth of God. I've been using the techniques in this book. It's an advanced intuitive living workbook written by Michael Steadman. I've been using the techniques in this book for about 10 years, and you'll see me use these techniques in the reading. Okay, and so this will help you develop your intuition. It'll help you connect with God if you're interested in that. And then also I've written a book that is called Vassago, Vassago, Tarot Card Spreads and Spells. This book is also linked with the original Rider-Waite Tarot deck, okay, with a description on the cards if you're wanting to learn to read cards for yourself and for others. So stay to the end. I will go into depth about those two books, okay? All right, so I hope everybody has had a good day. All right, we are calling upon the Most High God and the Holy Spirit, invoking and evoking our higher self, calling upon Jesus Christ, the Ascended Masters, and our spiritual team of highest light and resonance, including our guardian angels, our spirit guides, I think I said ancestors, and the archangels, and any other beings of divine love and light that are a part of our spiritual team. We are asking that they come be with us now. We are giving them consent and permission to intervene on our behalf, to put a protective shield around us, keeping us safe while doing the reading, and to protect us. We also ask God that you uncloak this reading so that these messages can get to the people that they need to get to. I suggest you guys watch all of the readings on both of my platforms. Each reading is going to hold an Easter egg of personal knowledge for you to decode about your own journey, and it will teach you a lot and help you progress spiritually. And these readings are to help you develop your intuition and your spiritual gifts, okay? And to connect with your spiritual team. So everybody's got a spiritual team, but the way that the benevolent, the positive works is, okay, God gave us free will for a reason, so we can make our own choices, so we can have our own experiences. All right, so if we don't give our angels, our spirit guides, and the things that are positive, because like the darkness doesn't care about free will, like, okay, and this is where I don't like to call things evil or good. Like, I just look at it, it's either in alignment with higher self or it's not. Okay, that's the way I look at things. That way it keeps me out of having to be fearful and judgment and all that stuff. But the darkness does not care about free will, has no problem messing with people, and doesn't respect God's creation. The light, excuse me, which is what we're calling upon, does respect free will, does respect and love God's creation, and follows the will of God. Everybody and everything's higher self is God. We'll talk about that at the end. So I am doing a tarot card reading for you guys. So we just want to say, God, thank you, thank you, thank you for everything that you've done. Thank you for everything that you're doing. Thank you, Jesus, for everything that you've done. Thank you for all of your guidance. We love you so much. All honor, glory, worship, and praise goes to my higher self, your higher self, our soul, the Most High God, divine realm, divine beings, and all of that. For everything that I'm able to do, I wouldn't be able to do it without God and without Christ and without the Holy Spirit. So, thank you, God. We love you so much. And please continue to prosper this platform and everything. I give all credit to you. Amen. Oh, and please continue to protect the collective. Amen. Okay, so by watching my readings, you are agreeing to the contract of being in control of yourself, being responsible for yourself, and with any of the information being channeled. Please be on your best behavior because the Most High God is watching and the Holy Spirit is listening. By watching my readings, you're agreeing to not attack, bully, or persecute me, anybody in the comment, or anybody in the chats, because these people are my collective, and I fiercely protect my collective. And I also ask that the divine realm and that Jesus and the ascended masters and the saints and all of that protect the collective as well. Okay. And so everybody's allowed to have their own perspective, but what's not allowed, sorry, you guys, my hair is like irritating me. Anyways, but what's not allowed is religious condemning, bullying, or judgment. You know, it says straight up in the Bible, judge not that you be not judged. I think that's a pretty good rule. In my personal life, I feel like judging is too much for me. Like that's just, you know, I have ADHD and dyslexia. Me having to judge something, I just leave that to the divine realm. Like I can feel a certain type of way, but I try, like literally when I was saying, I look at things that's either in alignment with my higher self, God, which I know that God is unconditional love, joy, compassion, and peace, or it's not. And mercy, you know, and bliss and happiness, all of the positive emotions. All right, so we're going to get into the reading. I will discuss the books that are in the description box below at the end of the reading. Hopefully I remember to do that. I'm going to start doing it that way, because I feel like more people will be here at the end rather than at the beginning. Just let you guys know, for everybody new that's coming in, if you could like the video, I would greatly appreciate it. I show up for you guys every day. It really helps this platform when you interact, when you like the video, when you leave a comment, when you subscribe. All of that stuff helps this platform thrive, and I really appreciate it. And I'm so thankful, you guys, and I love you so much for doing that. All right, so if you have any personal questions, you can send me a $20 super chat with your question, and I'll pause the collective reading and I'll answer your question. But I am doing a reading for the collective, which means I'm reading everybody's energy. So if you have a question and you don't want to send a $20 super chat, just, you know, don't spam the chat with your question. Just hang in there, because most likely the question, whatever your question is, will get answered. Okay. So what I get is that you guys are divinely protected. And I will always tell you this, like, because this is the energy that I pick up on a day-to-day basis. And I know I do have a lot of people that are recurring people in the chat, and I love you guys so much. And then the people that end up watching the readings after the reading's done, whatever. I feel like I'm pulling in a certain caliber of light worker, to be quite honest. If you don't know what a light worker is somebody that uses their gifts and abilities to help the world in whatever way that they want. Let's say you have an artistic talent. You could be creating art that inspires people. Let's say you have a beautiful singing voice. You could be singing gospel music. You could be singing any other type of music, you know, and inspiring people. Let's say you have a writing ability. So those are all creative abilities, but you using your gifts and abilities is helping the world in a positive way. This is one reason that you guys are protected, and that you will be protected moving forward. Okay. So your protection, my message for you guys is this: your protection has got somebody looking real foolish. And I think that, you know, it's not like you like called down judgment on someone. It's just that you are divinely protected. And this person, when they wanted to go around playing games in your energy, which could be anything from trying to astral project into the dream state. Now, I do want to talk about, And this came up earlier, but I wasn't for sure why it was coming up, and I think it has to do with this reading. I do want to talk about spirit husbands, spirit wives. That's a concept that's kind of new to me. Okay. So spirit husband, spirit wife. I heard a story, I don't know how long ago, maybe it was a few days ago, about a spirit named as Asmodeus being he was like a spirit, again, abstract concept to me. He was being a spirit husband to this one lady. I don't know if this is from the Bible, but it's some scripture. Anyways, and so this lady would try to get married, and then this wicked spirit, I don't know, I'm not trying to label him wicked, but anyways, he would come through and he would unalive her husband, right? And she couldn't figure out what's going on, and then all of a sudden realized, like, she was shown through a vision, dream, whatever, maybe it was an angel, I forget how it goes, but she was told that it was a spirit husband. And then she was able to get rid of that contract. Okay. So what I'm picking up is that somebody could be astral projecting into your dreams. They could have a spirit with them that wants to be a spirit spouse to you. So if you're having any dreams that are of a sexual nature, please, you guys, when you wake up, if you have a bad dream or a sexual dream, wake up and pray. Okay. For me, when I have dreams every single night. I remember them every single night. When I wake up from a bad dream, I do not go right back to sleep. I get up, I go pee, I walk around the house, like I spend a little bit of time getting grounded. And then I ask myself, what was that dream trying to tell me? So that, because I know that if I just go right back to going to sleep, then I'll just go right back into the same dream. And so I try to avoid that by praying. And these are just, suggestions, right? But if you were to find out that, oh, you have a spirit husband or a spirit wife, or that somebody is trying to get into your dreams and have sex with you, that's not a good thing. I don't think that those dreams are ever a good thing. So cancel and rebuke that as soon as you wake up. Pray. You can pray Psalm 91. You can pray. You can just talk to God. Literally, you guys can just talk to God. Once you know that your higher self is God, just like how Jesus would communicate with God, you can do the same thing. Or you can call upon Christ, whatever, or the Holy Spirit, whatever you feel comfortable with. Again, there's no judgment here. But I will say that you don't want to be, and in the dream state, you don't ever want to be signing any contracts. Okay, that's called coercion. You don't want to be digesting anything. You don't want to be, well, if you're experiencing spiders, snakes, and dogs biting you or stuff like that, then that's a sign of witchcraft. But yeah, there are certain things you don't want to be eating. You don't want to be sitting at nobody else's table. You don't want to be eating food. You don't want to be taking substances. Okay, so just cancel and rebuke those contracts. Because that's what it is. Usually when somebody is like, oh, here, sit at my table, have this food, it's your favorite dish, like that, they're trying to get you to digest something with witchcraft. Now, if you have ever digested something that has witchcraft in it, again, I know what that feels like, because I will tell you, when I was married, I was up under witchcraft for about like 9.5, almost 10 years. Then I didn't believe in witchcraft then, so I didn't know how to look for it. But when I found all of his witchcraft stuff, I started learning about prayer and fasting and all of that. And I've always had abilities, but, I didn't believe that witchcraft and the evil eye was a real thing. So now that I do, it may benefit you to get one of these, whatever they're called, evil eye, blue evil eye amulet things. Keep it under your pillow, keep it in your house, put it in your pocket. Stay away from envious people to the best of your ability. Also, when you guys start to see through people, like, they will pull away from you when they know that you can see who they are. They'll start to pull away, and then they'll start to blame you for things. So if you're getting people acting really weird towards you, it could be that they're picking up on that you're picking up on them. All right, let's see what comes out through the tarot. 3 of Wands. So yeah, you're basically divinely protected. Your creative vision, your dreams for the future is divinely protected. This is like you looking out into a new landscape and being like, what do I want to do next? Let's get the likes up, you guys. We got 51 people watching and 19 likes on the video. So this energy of you, and And also, if you feel like somebody is energy siphoning from you, call your energy and your power back to you. Okay. Ask spirit, ask God, ask your higher self to show you who the person is so that you can then avoid them and pray and put up. What prayer does is it puts up boundaries. So this is telling me that through careful planning, a project is coming into your vision, it's being realized, and you're getting to move forward. That's what I'm seeing. It could be a new business idea that you have. You're being told to just anticipate like regular obstacles. Like, let's say that it is a new business idea. If you're going to start a business, you don't have to have another person to start a business. I wouldn't be telling your ideas to people at this point. Keep those things close to your heart, because I don't want you guys to pull in people that really have nothing to offer you. They just want to benefit off of you. And where when you're like, okay, I'm going to create a business, I want to do a holistic healing, or I want to do massage therapy, or I want to do et cetera, et cetera. Write down a list of things that you have to do to get that business up and going. And then write down a smaller list of little baby steps that you can take to getting that accomplished. Okay. So that you don't get overwhelmed. A lot of people don't start new businesses and projects because they have the creative vision, but then when it goes to actually putting it together, they're like, oh, this is just too much. And I promise you, it's not going to be too much. If you break it down into little steps, you take just little actions. Okay. One day, get your business license. The next day, work on creating a website. And I still believe that there are free website things that you can use. Okay. So, research, do some research your clientele, research, if you're going to get a physical location somewhere, research the physical location and who lives around that physical location. Okay. And then research like where you're going to advertise. And these are just normal things that we're talking about that anybody that would be starting a business would be thinking about. But, look at it this way, is if you've got something that's really worth great value, whether it's a service like massage therapy, even reading for people, or, holistic healing, selling essential oil, whatever it is. Okay. Just know that you want to cater to, unless it's an online thing, then you can cater to everybody. But I would suggest that you get an online website and a physical location. But you want to cater to the community that you serve, right? So I created this YouTube platform, I think it was like 2000s, I want to say 2017, but I'm not for sure. And right after I created it, I started working at the metaphysical store. And so then I didn't have as much time to do the YouTube platform. So I started reading for people in the community. Now I did that for years. Then I came back to this platform so that I could help the rest of the public. So again, you just have to figure out how, and Spirit kind of guided me how to divide my time up, right? And know that, for a lot of the stuff, you don't need other people's stamp of approval to get things started. Okay. You really don't. I just came across this store. I think it was a couple days ago. No, it was last week, but I was like, oh, I'm going to look it up online because I didn't want to just walk into the store. Anyways, and it was called Bonsai Me. And it's actually a store that sells little bonsai plants. If you don't know what bonsai plants are, they're like little plants that are indoor / outdoor plants that they mimic like little trees. They're completely adorable. Anyways, kind of Asian like, and that's something that I'm like totally interested in. I love that type of stuff. And so I'm like, oh, okay, well, they obviously have a clientele around here, that enough of a clientele, because when I was at the plant place, a different plant place a couple weeks ago or a week ago, I don't know however long it was, but when I was there, I was like, oh, they don't have like any bonsai plants. Like they literally don't have anything. And then I saw that bonsai store and I was like, how perfect is this bonsai shop? Just this little place. And I looked it up online and yeah, it is selling those little trees. So again, you want to have something that's catchy, that draws in people's attention. I suggest that you can get like LED or, You can get like lights and put them on the insides of your windows if you have a physical location, and then get a lit up sign. Yellow and black is like stands out so good. Get a lit up sign and then turn those lights on when you're leaving the shop so that they're blinking or whatever, so it gets people's attention. There's many different things that you can do to get people's attention, to draw people in, you know. But yeah, I would be looking into free advertising. When we had the metaphysical store, I was doing Facebook advertising, but I wasn't paying for it. I would just take all the pictures of the supplies that we had, and then I would, you know, write a really good post about them, and people would see it and they would come into the store. So anyways, anticipate regular obstacles before they arrive. Page of Pentacles. Maybe you guys are going to be doing something that helps younger people. Also, you could be, you could have a child that could want to help you with this business. You could also have a child that ends up becoming a teenager, or this could be even somebody else's child. But I get that, like, you could have had this dream since you were a child, or you could have a child that will need a job at some point. And then look, if you have a business, that would be a great thing for them to work there. So follow through with your plans is what I'm being told. Know that if you start working now on whatever this idea is, whether it's a book, you know, whatever it is, business, that you're going to have something to leave your children in the future. And, you know, when you do what you love, it's not work. I mean, it's obviously still work because it's time and energy devoted to something, but it's not work like where it's like monotonous and it's like you're sitting there waiting for the time to fly by. Also, teach a good work ethic to your children, okay, to the best of your ability. I mean, Ten of Swords. So this other person that we're talking about, I feel like as soon as you get this new business idea, you guys have got some weird person that's like a copycat. They want to be your friend so freaking bad, but they want to copy whatever it is that you do. And no. The Ten of Swords is like bottoming out, ultimate betrayal, being completely, utterly stabbed in the back, feeling like a victim or a martyr. Weird energy. But yeah, this person could be like, they could come to you and be like, please, can I be a part of your business? Can I help open up the store? Can I this, that? No, you need to say no to this person. Why am I saying that? Because first of all, they don't respect your boundaries. Second of all, they want to become you. And third of all, this person is the type of person that would like to clone whatever business you're starting and then go to another city and then open it up. Like literally copy it. Okay. And so they want to know the only reason this person wants to know the in and outs of whatever it is that you can do that's a natural skill is because they're feeling like a victim, and they're feeling betrayed, and they're feeling like they can't recover, and they feel like they need to steal from someone, or that they need to be a part of something that's bigger than them. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to be a part of something that's bigger than them, but they should go to their own higher self instead of trying to jump on and latch on to what you already have going on. Okay. Or what you have already thought of. This person's like, tell me everything. You know, I would be very weary of people that want you to tell them everything, unless this is a parent that's just like, how are you doing? Oh, I'm interested in your business. That's amazing. You know what I mean? Like when I talk to my family, they ask questions about my life, and I don't feel like they're going to go try to betray me. But if there was some type of, and I don't have friends for this very reason, but if there was some type of friend that was like, tell me everything that you do, teach me how you do this. No, you guys, especially if you are, how do I say this without offending anyone? If you are a melanated person, okay, which means any form of melanatedness, and you have sacred magical secrets that are to your generation, gatekeep that. Don't be giving that stuff away to just anybody. And I know it can be very flattering with somebody that's like, oh, I want to become an apprentice or whatever that word is, towards you. But there are some things, some knowledge, some secrets, some things that you just have to gatekeep for your own generation. Okay. All right. Now that that's stated, And also, and this is just in general, practices like hoodoo, those were practices that slaves, okay, used. I think it's extremely offensive for people that are this color or whiter to be going to use something that, and again, this is just my opinion. I feel like if you don't have an authentic connection with the African or orishas or Loa or deities or energies, then I think that you should just stick to what you do have a connection to. And so this is why I'm just saying that it could end up turning out very bad for somebody else if they try to whitewash whatever your spiritual practice is. Keep that precious, I'm going to say, black woman, black man power, authentic magic that you have to yourself for your generation. All right. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with melanated people using hoodoo, but I feel like when we have these MAGA witches and all these other, like, just really weird shit going on, that I think is kind of inappropriate. And it's not, and I'm not judging all white people, because I know not all Caucasian people ancestors were slaves. So we're not judging people, but we are just saying that some practices are closed practices for a reason. All right. I don't know who needed to hear that, but that's just a general warning, so that you know, and if you have to tell somebody that's very interested in what you do that it's a closed practice, you can do that respectfully. Okay. Oh, you're totally okay. If you've got some stuff going on with your head, go lay down, sweetie. You can watch this later. King of Pentacles. Also, you guys, when you get this business up and going, do not think that you have to collaborate with somebody that's got money to fund it. Like I was saying, there's a lot of free resources out there. In fact, you may even be able to apply for a grant or a loan or something if you need money to start it. But I'm getting that this is something that you can start just with the money that you do have already. Okay. And so again, where these people there are people that it's called corporate espionage, where they want to steal other people. Like, I knew this one person who had a multi-billion-dollar, I used to read for him, had a multi-billion-dollar company. He was harvesting this rare mineral out of the earth that's like nothing else that we've ever experienced before. And this type of metal is like self-energizing. Anyways, miraculous properties, right? But it's at the core of the earth. See, he didn't gatekeep the knowledge correctly, and so somebody completely corporate espionaged him. All right. They cloned his company. Somebody very close to him that he trusted cloned his company and completely effed him over and pushed him out of what he was working on. Not cool, because the substance that was being harvested was an element that you can use to make the elixir of life, the elixir of immortality. So anyways, when you find out that you've got something good, there may be people that want to come in and make a deal, sign a deal with us, give us the information. Don't give them the information. And don't make a deal with them. Like, why would you? Ace of Cups. Because look, God loves you so much that God is going to make sure that your cup runneth over, to the point where you can share this cup of love with your children, with your grandchildren, and with the people that come after you. Like, not after you, like running after you, but like the ones you give birth to, and then the ones that they give birth to, your next generation. Also, somebody wants you to let your guard down and then just like spill the secrets. People need to understand that people like you, that are light workers, are very mysterious people. Okay. These people could be wanting you to tell them something that they will not understand, even if you told it to them. And I do believe a lot of the things that, like, when I look at the things that they say Christ said, I see it from a higher perspective. I do not look at it the way everybody else does. I literally read it from a higher perspective. And he was speaking See, his consciousness was so higher vibrational than everybody else's. I really truly believe that only Mary Magdalene had the ability to understand what he was saying. The Hierophant. So there could be a religious community, secret society, a cult, coven, Freemasons. Well, Catholicism is Freemasonry. Anyways, there could be a group that's very interested in the love that God has for you, in your spiritual growth, and in what you're doing for the future. These people don't have any type of real prophetic ability. They can't see into the future. They don't know what's happening now. And the people that are in their organization are like looking to them like, hey, tell us what to do. We're in the end of times. If you don't know, we're in the end of times. Every single biblical revelational prophecy that's about the end of times, except for I think 1 or 2, has already happened. Okay, literally. And if you read into it, the rivers showing up in the desert, the draining of the Euphrates rivers with the 4 fallen angels at the bottoms of the river, all of that stuff has happened, okay? And now we're having the war in the Middle East, which is another part of it. So anyways, this Hierophant group is like, what do we do? What do we say? We need to look to that chosen one, to that light worker, and find out what they're seeing, what they know about. The thing is like when you know things about the future that God's shown you with this Ace of Cups, love, you're not going to tell the world until God says that it's time for you to tell the world, right? So this Hierophant group, they want something from you that, God's not going to tell you to give to them, okay? And it's because these people will twist it around their little minds. And they are little-minded, okay? They can only see things through the lens of which they look through, which I understand, but that's why us light workers, and I'm not saying we're better than everybody else, but that's why us having expanded consciousness and being able to tap into Christ consciousness, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. That's why we're here sharing our light, shedding light on things, being a light worker so that people who are stuck in a certain mind frame can then break free of that. But it's going to happen in God's time, not in our time. And I promise you that if you allow things to happen when God wants them to happen, you will be 100% happy and okay with it. But if you want it to happen now, it's got to be this, this, and this, like these people want, then something could happen not in the right time and it could throw things off. So just be okay with divine timing being divine timing. So if you guys have any personal questions, you can send me a $20 super chat with your question and I will pause the collective reading and I will answer your question. I'll set a 20-minute timer. But yeah, you guys are being told to gatekeep this knowledge, whatever it is, this power that you have. Yes, others do know that you have it. But when it is time for you to share it, this could be journals that you're writing in. It could be a book you're compiling. When it is time, you will share it with the world and then these people can have access to it. But why they want to come in and force you into selling something to them or signing a contract with them is because they want to appear like they have the knowledge before everybody else. And that's because they feel like they need to keep up some type of persona or whatever, some type of act, like their organization knows what's going on when all of their predictions and whatever method of divination that they use does not work. It's not accurate. Okay. And these people are not connected to angels. I don't know what they want to know what the magic is. This is why I was saying, gatekeep your magic. Don't tell people the answers to everything until God shows you that it's time for people to know about it. Because first of all, these people will twist things up and try to use that knowledge to extort other people. And so you don't want that. Where you can stand in your power and command the presence of others, it's like you're meant to be seen and heard from, and people just need to be respectful of what God's intention is and not so damn greedy, because that's what this Hierophant group is about. Greed, 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 greed. How they can look like they have it together because they want more people joining their organization. These people feel like if they get more people joining their organization, then they can charge a monthly fee to them or they can extort money out of them. And again, I'm not dissing religions and cults and covens and whatever else is out there for doing that. But I will say that Jesus wasn't like, shut the doors. I mean, he probably preached outside, but he wasn't like, shut the doors. Now, everybody, pull your wallets out. They probably didn't have wallets back then. Whatever. Pull your money pouch out. Empty it all out. Like, Jesus was not like that, okay? And I'm not saying that we all have to be exactly like Jesus, but Jesus he's king for a reason. And I'm cool with him being king because he is a perfect example, all right, of a human being to look up to. Or to try to at least live as Jesus did, you know? So yeah, you have something that's in high demand and people are like, give me, give me, give me, give me. And they're not waiting. They don't think about, oh, is this the right time for that? They're thinking of, let's get the likes up, you guys, please and thank you. They're thinking, give me, give me, give me, give me. I need to get it before the other preacher, the other pastor, the other, et cetera, Freemason, whatever, gets it and then uses it, right? And some people don't even realize that the knowledge that you get, if they tried to do the same thing and use it the way you use it, it wouldn't give them the same effect because it's not part of their journey. So that's why I feel like until you have something copyrighted, don't explain it to people. These people are going to ask questions, pick, and then they're going to try to make you feel like you can't make it without them. If you're wanting to get into the music industry, let that, oh, I need a record label thing go, okay? Because the record labels are completely demonic and evil, okay? They will give you, they'll say, here, go buy whatever you want, and then they'll take something from you. And most of the time, even when you work with a record company, they'll give you a little bit of money, but then they take the majority of everything. And so you have to pay for all of your stage equipment, for every show you do, for booking the thing. They don't pay for any of that. People don't know that. They just, these people come in hot and heavy with, here, we have a contract for you. And people get so excited because they want to become famous or whatever. But when they sign that contract, they don't read the fine print or they don't go get a lawyer. And this is why, times are changing, I should just say. The times are changing. Yeah, and people in the future, it's not the way it used to be in the music industry. Now you make money through doing live performances. In the past, it used to be selling records, selling CDs. Now it's live performances. So if you can't perform live, then I wouldn't even go into that avenue. Okay, what else do we need to know? 8 of Swords. Yeah, these people feel restricted. And they possibly are being restricted. The 8 of Swords card is talking about jail. It could be about jail. It could be about purgatory. It could be about somebody wanting you to live by their rules. Again, like I said, if you were ever a part of a religion, it could be any religion. The Hierophant can represent any religion, any secret society, coven, cult, Freemason, witch group, whatever. If you were a part of whatever this is in the past, maybe you were baptized into it or you're born into it, these people are like, we need to force this person because they knew us when they were young. We need to force them into doing what we want. And that they're really approaching you in the wrong way. These people feel very trapped. And like I was saying, they are trapped in their little mind. This is all they can think about. They also feel like God doesn't love them, which is not true. God loves everybody. God maybe not be happy with what everybody is doing, but God still gives us free will to do what we want and loves us anyways. And this is what this Hierophant group does not understand. This Hierophant group believes the people that are in their group are better than the rest of the people on the planet. And I disagree. I do not think that your skin color, your culture, or your religion, or what your wealth makes you more important or better than other people. Okay, I don't believe that at all. I feel like if you make better choices than other people, you'll be in a better position, but inherently nobody is perfect. So, and that's why, like, I do not agree with and I'm not dissing if you're Mormon, you know, how they say that, oh, we are saints. No, they're not. I would like to see one Mormon person perform a miracle live, like straight up. The saints that from like Christianity, from Catholicism, they performed miracles, okay? Like there's reasons that they were put into sainthood. They lived a life that was purely good, where, and I'm not judging people, but I do pick up on a lot of judgment and it being a cult. You know, religions are cults. No matter what way you look at it, it's still a cult. And if they want, you know, I don't agree with taxing women, single women. I don't agree with taxing people 10% of their income or whatever. I just don't agree with that. I feel like if you can give, then give. If you can't, then it's cool. Like that's how it should be in my mind, you know. But obviously, you starting a business means that there has to be an equal exchange of energy. You know, the reason that religions and charities are tax exempt is because they are supposed to be putting it forward for people, right? That's why they're tax exempt. You starting a business, you're not going to be tax exempt. So it's like that there has to be an equal exchange of energy. People that want everything for free, okay, let them, people do, I want people to understand that they demand things for free from others. They'll be like, oh, you're a light worker, you have to do this. No, you don't. You don't have to do anything. You can just use your gifts and abilities for yourself. You're not indebted to anybody, and you don't have to share your light if you don't want to. That's your choice if you do. But there has to be an equal exchange of energy, okay? For the person that's receiving whatever they're receiving for you, for them to even appreciate and value it and to not degrade you and treat you like trash, there has to be an equal exchange of energy. And if there's not an equal exchange of energy, then there is no workable relationship, okay? Because your time, you can't get your time back. There's no way that I will ever read for people for free, like unless I'm doing a bonus or something, because I will not dive into people's energy and their demons and what they have going on and make their problems a part of my life. I do not like that. And so I don't do that for free. There has to be an equal exchange of energy. Point blank, period. And people that want to take advantage, it's just like owning a McDonald's. If you own these people need to understand that it's like this. If you own a McDonald's, would they think it's appropriate to come in and ask for food for free? Like, would you ever go into these people's business and ask for their stuff for free? No, you wouldn't. You would pay for it, whatever they ask, might I add. The sun. And this is why when we had the metaphysical store, we did not do discounts, because we would go to all these crystal shows all over the world, and we would spend hours and hours and hours picking through the crystals to find the best crystals. And we would pay top freaking dollar for the best quality stuff, the best quality everything. And so why would we, if we paid top price for the best quality of stuff, I don't care what day of the week it is or what the situation is, we would give like a 10% discount if they paid cash. But other than that, there is no discounts, because we have to go travel to the places. Then we have to spend hours and hours and hours, which was very tedious and hard on our bodies, going through all the crystals, finding the best quality stuff. And then we would have to bargain with the people to get it and fight with the crowds of other people that are doing the same thing. So anyways, you just have to understand, like, if at a certain time, you know, and people will be like, well, how come this crystal's this much and this one's this much? It's like, well, it's this much because when we bought it, this is how much it cost. Since then, it's gone up. You know what I mean? So we can charge this for this one, but this other one. And then also there's different qualities of the crystals. There's like not as good quality, and then there's super good quality. And the super good quality crystal means that it's been processed, refined, like to the nth degree, right? So you guys being light workers, shedding a light down on things, you just have to understand how your business works, the ins and outs of it. Do some research, watch some YouTube videos of other people that do the same thing, you know, and then start advertising. Know that, you know, The crystal store was like a 15-year thing. Like it was actually was even more than that. I worked there for a few years. And so it had already been in a place that was established, right? But it was a lot of word of mouth for at least my personal clients I would read for. But then a lot of people would come in the store and they would not know what their store filled with all different types of crystals. And they would be like, oh my God, I don't know what to get. Everything, it's overwhelming when you go into, well, our store was so awesome. It was overwhelming going into it because there's so many nice crystals. So then they would be like, okay, well, can you help me get a crystal? And that's when I would read their chakra system. And based off of what their chakras were doing, I would help them find the crystal for them. But even at that, some people would come in and they would get that reading. I would tell them what's going on in their life. Me and the other psychic would tell them everything that's going on in their life. And then they would decide not to get the crystal. And I would be like, the crystal's like $3. Like you can get it in many different forms, but usually they're like $3 to $5, extremely cheap. Like, I'm like, so then we would have to put up a stipulation of, okay, if you come in and you ask us to read your chakras and dive into your energy, instead of just playing a game with us, you have to get the crystal. And again, we're not going to point you to $100 or $500 or $1,000 crystal. Like we're talking about like tumbled stones, like $1 to $5, $5 being the most. You know what I mean? So you just have to put up boundaries with people. And once you get hip to somebody coming in to use you, set a boundary. And then that way I would know that people that were coming in, that they, and we also had like no religion allowed because people were very weird with religion, thinking that crystals are demonic. Like, please stop with the shit. Stop with the dumb shit. Okay. Anyways. But yeah, so it's like, you just have to know who the type of customer that you have, what their usual thing is, and then what they actually need, what's going to benefit them. And why we had people always coming back is because we would help them find the thing that was best suited for what they had going on. And it works, that crystal's not going to do, the crystal is a mineral. Okay. And if it's not within arm lengths of you, unless it's a quartz crystal like this one, okay, which this can be setting up a crystal grid while you're gone and it'll still be working for you. But and if you put this crystal next to any other type of crystal, it amplifies the energies of the other crystals. But if it's not within your arm's length, then the crystal's not doing anything for you. So we would always have to educate people about how to use the crystals. Again, does the crystal take the place of God? No, but it does help. Okay, all new age woo-woo stuff that people are like, oh, it's new age, it's the devil. Actually, I don't know why they call it new age, because it's actually ancient. It's the old age just returning. But you use a tool until you don't need it anymore. And if it helps, it helps. But where a lot of Christians, a lot of people in religion label everything demonic, not everything is demonic. Okay, crystals are not inherently demonic. Like, they're just not. They're minerals. But whatever. People are going to think what they want to think because they're afraid. And that, how Christianity has continued to manipulate and get people's money is by making them afraid of God or the devil. Okay. I feel like people shouldn't fear God because God is loving. However, they should fear what they send out coming back to them. Like, that's just common sense, knowing the law of attraction. So anyways, that's the way that I look at things. This is just some things to think about as you bring this light work into creation for people to benefit. There will be people that want to take advantage of that. Judgment. And like I was saying, they want to call these weird people who are extremely religious, that don't know what they're talking about, that are not really getting anything out of the Bible, by the way. They may be labeling something, oh, it's sorcery. Nothing that I do is sorcery. In fact, I think that sorcery is probably using a wand or something. I'm not for sure, because again, I don't care enough about that. But like, there's nothing witchcraft about, like, I never even started with using tarot cards. I've always had abilities. When I was little, I would go up and tell people things and they would start crying and my mom would be like, go sit in the corner, sit on your hands. Like, stop talking. Okay. But yeah, it was demonized because I was adopted and my parents didn't know what the hell was going on, right? They didn't understand what a spiritual ability is because, again, they're genetic. They run through your family. So just know that you being a light worker may ruffle a few feathers. That's okay. These people who are extremely judgmental that want to cast judgment on other people, and again, tarot cards are not in the Bible. There's nothing about that in the Bible. But because tarot cards weren't invented when the Bible was created, way, way later. I'll talk about that at the end of the reading. But this judgment where these people are like, no, they need to be stopped and imprisoned and shut out and shunned by the society, and what they're doing is the devil's work. If you're shedding light on things and helping people, I'm pretty sure that that's not working for the devil. That's my opinion. I don't believe in one devil. I believe there's probably many of every different type of culture. You know, they just have different names for them. So as far as these people thinking that they are the judge of the world, these people don't, maybe in the past, maybe in the very distant past, you know, they could judge things, but King James pretty much was like, kiss my ass, Catholic Church. Like, try to judge me if you want to. I'm going to divorce this person and marry whoever I want, right? And not only that, King James was a demonologist and he was a homosexual. A lot of people don't know about that, but there's more to his story than just him creating the King James version of the Bible, which obviously, you know, it's so funny to me just how history is. Like, the Protestants really believed that the devil didn't want people to know how to read. This is what the Protestants believed, and I think it's just so funny. They thought that if the devil could keep people from reading the Bible, then they wouldn't know about God. Like, what? So, but it was good that they pushed people to learn to read, okay? But I will say that that's ridiculous thinking. So you just need to know that you're going to have, like I said, ruffling a few feathers. I love Santa Muerte. Yeah, I love Santa Muerte. So beautiful. So beautiful energy. And she is a modern saint of a very ancient Aztec goddess, to be honest. And so, yeah, when I pass away, if she were to show up, I would be totally cool with that. Very loving. So this judgment that somebody's going to try to call on you is not real judgment. This is just people pointing the finger, accusing, and saying that you are something that you're not. But you will be known by your works, by your deeds, okay? And you enlightening other people. You know, some people truly believe, because again, they've been told something. They truly believe that certain things attract the devil. And that's why they will have that experience with the devil. Now, if you don't have that belief, you probably will not have that experience. Okay, so these people, just know that they're creating their own reality. They could be experiencing something completely different because they believe something completely different. Also, these people are actively trying to talk with one another about how they're going to get you to abandon ship. You're not going to abandon your divine life purpose. And if these people, I don't know why my ear is itching, but if these people want you to do that so bad, why don't they just, you know, focus on themselves instead? Because I can guarantee that trying to get you to walk away from being a light worker and just helping others is the wrong thing to do. And these people know that they're not really helping anybody. They just want people's money. Okay. And they look at you as like a money grab, like, oh, that person can make a lot of money, or they have something that's worth a lot of value. Let's put a stop to that, or let's take advantage of it. Two of Wands. Yeah. You guys have the courage to bring into fruition a better world where these people, they want the same shit to continue on. They want people to believe that, you know, this is what runs the world. And it doesn't. In fact, this devil energy is what's up under judgment. And the devil card does not always mean the devil. All it represents is like the ego, somebody's lower nature. So yeah, there's going to be a whole Hierophant group that wants you to compromise your self-worth for their nonsense, and you're not going to do that. Okay, what else do we need to know about this situation? Yeah, you bringing this idea into fruition is going to help people understand things spiritually, and they may call it New Age, but like I said, it's not New Age. It's ancient knowledge just being brought back. And so people demonize the New Age. And I've listened to a lot of people's testimonies through YouTube where they make a video about, oh, I was in New Age practices. And again, a lot of the New Age stuff that I've heard about that people are doing is weird. Okay. Things that weird shit that I would never do, that I would obviously know that there's something weird about that. But not every extraterrestrial is a demon, okay? Like, seriously. Do they have their own agendas? Yes, they do. But not all of them are evil. In fact, I don't feel like half of them are even evil. But again, religion wants you to fear, because that's how they know to manipulate, dominate, and control, is through fear. Okay, you don't need to fear the devil when you are the light. The synonym for the word devil is vampire. If you're the sun, what can the devil vampire do to you? Like, seriously, if you just shine a light down on it, there's nothing that they can do. And these people are up under judgment because they do work with, some type of low vibrational energy. And they probably call it God, and this thing pretends to be God, and it loves to pretend to be God. But at the end of the day, God is loving and not fear, okay? God will always push you to become the best version of yourself. God will give you an overflowing cup of love and support, and God will always be there for you. So will Jesus. 5 of Pentacles. So maybe this religion is like afraid that they're going to lose their home, secret society, cult, coven, Freemasonry, whatever. Let's get the likes up, you guys, please, and thank you. Maybe they're afraid that they're going to be outcasted, that they're going to lose their home. Well, if they would stop signing contracts with El Diablo and start doing what God has them, it wants them to do, which is probably love their families and stop judging everybody. Again, the Bible is not supposed to be used to curse everyone, but tell these people that, they would be like, no, you know what I mean? So you're dealing with people, you're going to deal with people that don't have a real experience with God, because what they believe God is El Diablo. And they're going to be in the 5 of Pentacles looking for a new home, wanting to set up a new home base in your territory or your area. And you're over here leading people who are probably escaping religion because of all the demonic possession that goes on in it. They're probably escaping these weird rituals and coming to you to gain insight into how they can move forward on their spiritual journey. And so, these people will look at you like your opposition, but are you actually the opposition? No, you're the salvation. You're more of the Jesus energy than these people are. These people want to crucify you while you are over here doing exactly what Jesus did, prophesying, healing, helping, guiding, teaching, etc. Okay? And I'm not saying that you are Jesus, but I am saying that you're much more like Jesus than these other people are. And these people don't want to take any self-accountability. Yes, there's nothing new under the sun. They don't want any self-accountability. They're like, throw it on Christ, throw it on Christ. Christ carry our burdens. Christ do this, Christ do that. I have no problem with people calling upon Jesus, but when people don't want to take self-accountability for the reality, like, what do they need salvation from? They're the ones creating their own reality. So Jesus already died on the cross. In my mind, he did his job. Okay, now we can learn from his experience and we can call upon him for aid you know, from time to time, but every little thing that goes wrong in our life is not to be thrown on Christ's back. Like, that's so disrespectful to me in my mind, where Jesus already paid the ultimate price for our mistakes. Why do we still think that the answer is throwing things on Christ's back? Jesus didn't have a Jesus to go to. He went to God. God would rather have you come straight to God, going within and finding the kingdom of heaven within, than to throwing things on, you know, Jesus's back and being like, oh, carry my sins for me. No, people just need to make better decisions. And again, Jesus is not going to stop somebody's karma from hitting them. If they've done bad things, they just need to learn and pay the karma that's going to come, because they sent the energy out. It's going to come back to them. I feel like these people fear you because you can't be controlled through the devil, and they can't use a book, Quran, Torah, Bible, whatever else exists out there, to control you either. And so you are a threat to them, even though you're not actually threatening them. Does that make sense? You having ancient knowledge that they're going to call woo-woo, new age, they're going to label it as demonic, even though these people are truly being demonic by judging other people. You know, Jesus had all types of people follow him. All types of people. These are the type of people that are like, you're a sinner, you're this, you're that. Okay, we are all sinners. None of us are perfect. But at least you're cleaning up your own mess, and you're not throwing everything on Jesus's back, and you're doing your best, and you're loving yourself. These people don't even have any self-accountability or self-love for themselves. And this is why the devil has such a good stronghold in their life. They've given the devil authority, you know. They've given the low vibrational energy authority because they believe that it's powerful. But I don't ever think that a vampire is going to be more powerful than the sun. Four of Pentacles. And you have, see, these people, what they're truly disturbed about is that you've got these natural roots, this natural connection, this organic, okay, given from God, an inheritance, a gift, a large sum of money. These people are wanting to argue over the gifts that God gave you. In what world? You're doing what God has asked you to do with them. These people want to argue and fight over your abilities. They don't belong to these people. I don't care if you were raised in this spiritual group or not. You're the one that's got the gifts. That means, what does that mean? That means that God trusted you enough to give you this spiritual power. That's why you're going to use it to help others. And the power that you have, see, what I don't believe people that say that they're Satanists or say that they're Wiccans. I don't believe that those are real witches or even devil worshipers, okay? I believe that people that know they have a spiritual ability or a power, and then they abuse that to hurt and harm people or get information on people, they abuse it. That's what I consider to be a witch or a warlock. Somebody that abuses a secret or occult knowledge, which is all the word occult means is hidden. They're using something that they have access to, and they're abusing it and not using it in the correct way. That makes them, to me, in my mind, a witch or a warlock. Now, does anybody that picks up a Wiccan book and wants to tap in with nature or whatever else, does that mean that they have spiritual abilities and powers? No, it does not. Anybody, and a lot of the Satanists don't even believe in Satan. They just believe in rebellion. To be quite honest, they make fun of the devil, which is probably not very smart for them. But yeah, so you just have to understand that when somebody gives themselves a label, it's because they want to be seen in a certain light, or they want something. I can tell you this, if there was a book that just gave you a bippity boppity boop magic power, like bippity boppity boop, turn a pumpkin into a carriage type thing, the whole world would want that book, right? And so you're not doing anything that's out of like your reach. You're not outsourcing to any extra dimensional energy or whatever. Like, you're going within and using the gifts that God gave you to literally help people find peace. That is why your generation is secured. That's why these gifts and abilities will be given to your next generation, and you'll be able to teach your children how to use them. Five of Cups. So these people are in regret. You know what I'm actually getting? I'm getting that this could be more than one religion here, or spiritual group or whatever, that's finding out that what they believed was God is actually like Baal or Baal or whatever, or Moloch or whatever, but like one of those really old things that people used to worship and shit like that. Like I think that that's what they're figuring out. And then now that they've figured out that they've been duped, confirmation. Now that they've been figured out that they've been duped, they're like in regret. And they're like, well, what the hell? Like, how could this be? All you have to do is like literally study language and you'll find out, obviously, their word for God came straight from Baal. And that's what they were worshiping as God before they created this other religion. So again, it's not these people act like them finding out that they've been worshiping false idolatry, okay, doing that type of stuff. They're acting like them finding out about that is somebody else's fault, but they just were not properly educated. These people didn't even read their own text correctly. That's why we have scholars, religious scholars, people that take classes that can process these things and tell us what's going on. I could have told these people that whatever they thought was God was not God based upon the rules and regulations in their religion. Anything that's going to be like, oh, you can lightly beat your wife, or your wife is your prisoner, or it's okay to unalive people and it's okay to grate people and all of that crap. Okay, anything that says that is the devil's work. Steal, lie, kill, rape, murder, and destroy. That is what the devil does. And if that's a part of the religion, then obviously you know where it comes from. These people are acting so surprised now. Oh, we didn't know. We didn't know, but they did know. Like, they did know. They just wanted to justify their low vibrational behavior. And now they don't have a home because real God is like, look, this is not sacrificing children. All of this stupid shit is not for the highest and best good of everybody. Now, this Five of Cups energy is like somebody crying over spilt milk. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Wish I would have done something differently. This could be the end of many relationships. This could be a lot of people, This is why I feel like being boastful and prideful is stupid. Because these people are like, oh, we have more people joining our organizations. No, they're not joining the organization. They're being born into the organization, which means at any given moment when they realize the effery that's going on, they will be able to walk away and leave. And not only that, anybody that says, okay, go ahead, it's under law that you can marry your first cousin. I'm sorry, we don't need to even defend ourselves against people like that, because they're going to self-delete themselves anyways by sleeping with their cousins. Like, and I'm not just talking about that one religion, but there are other religions that say that type of stuff is okay, which it's not. I mean, like, it's okay, except that it creates children that have deformities that need continual care, which is very, very sad. All right. Nine of Wands. It injures people. If a spiritual practice is hurting, then it's not the right practice. Okay. Because again, I could sit here and just have a conversation about all this with you guys. All of this stuff, cards, crystals, all of that, all of it it's just a tool. The Quran, the Torah, the Bible, it's a tool. You use a tool until you don't need it anymore. And that's why it's a tool. But these people, they believe that it's 100% the word of God. The way that I believe that God communicates is through visions, signs, miracles and wonders, nature, intuition, angel numbers, and things like that. That's how I don't think that there's a voice speaking things. And if I were to ever hear some voice saying it was the voice of God, I would know for sure that that's not God. In fact, I did hear some shit one time, then I was like, the hell, this demonic shit that's trying to get me to believe that it's God? Absolutely not. So these people need to prepare because again, this is just their own karma coming back to them. And I'm not judging them. They're getting judged because of what they've done to others. Okay. That's why they need to prepare to be assaulted, because they believe that terrorism is a part of their culture, and that it's okay to do things to people that it's not okay. Again, any religion that does not respect life and God's creation is not a part of God's will. Because if God created a person, think of how long it takes for a person to come into existence. 9 months. If God created a person, that is part of God's will for that person to be alive. Who are we to say that, oh, we can take the life of another person and we'll be rewarded for that? The reward will be hell. And I am truly convinced that these people that are in these religions do not, when they have people of power pass away in their religion, they don't ever look to see if those people are in hell, which they are. And I won't be digging them out of hell. They're going to have to climb out of that shit themselves, okay? You know, the whole thing of judgment is like all of the souls of the innocent people that were unalived coming back to life. Not in like a zombie way, but people being haunted by what they've done. It is what it is. That's not me judging. That's whatever Archangel Gabriel and God's going to do. All you can do is point people to the light, okay? Where they're in complete darkness, treating others worse than they would treat an animal. Actually, no, treating animals bad is bad also. But then treating people worse than animals is also bad. If these people want to continue to do that, they need to understand why they don't have a home, why it's being bombed, or why it's being invaded, or why whatever's going on is because what they're doing is very, very going against God's creation and God's will. And it's this entitled over sense of entitlement that these people have to whatever everybody else has. They feel like they're better and that their God makes them better. But now they're finding out that their God is actually the devil. No, these people didn't study their own shit. It would be very easy to say, okay, especially any God that says, oh, if you go bomb somebody else and self-delete in the process, like kamikaze, you'll go straight to heaven. That is of the devil, okay? I've never seen anybody that self-deleted go to heaven. Not ever. Knight of Swords. These people, they're ridiculous. They want an army of angels to come down and protect them. They're not being protected. These people also fear, they fear, the Knight of Swords represents like the military. They fear having to face actual Judgment Day. Judgment Day is coming. These people that are doing bad things just need to repent and get it together. When repentance gets rejected is when people are just doing it to save their own ass and they're not actually sorry for hurting another person. So even if these people do repent, does that mean that they're not going to face karma? They're still going to face karma, because what you do to others will be done to you. That is how the law of attraction works, But they think that their belief makes them better than everybody else. And there's a lot of these groups that believe that their beliefs make them better than everybody else. I know for a fact that is going to be proven, that it doesn't matter what these people believe. If you're a chosen light worker, starseed, gifted one that God put in a certain position for a reason, it doesn't matter what these people believe about you or not believe about you. God's opinion is what's going to be law. Okay. Empress. And point blank period, these religions that belittle women, they fear the divine feminine. They fear women. They fear the mysticalness of being a woman. Okay. And they want to dominate, abuse, manipulate, abuse, and destroy and control that. Okay. The military is going to protect that energy. We're not giving our women up to these people that believe that people of my color, whiter than that, are only good for graping. That's very inappropriate. Okay. This is why we have a military, and these people, they're counting 100% on their devil being able to save them from consequences. That clearly what these people are going to go through is something that's so tragic that it can only be explained that it was God that did it. There will never be, oh, it was a person that did that. No, it'll be like a natural disaster that they have to go through. Because the earth will do whatever the earth needs to do to cleanse itself, the earth will do that. And there's nothing we can do about that. That's why we should just try to do our best. And it looks like you already are. You are very protected, High Priestess. You know, these religions want to burn witches because they don't like that women, the ones that should be protected the most, women and children out of everybody, they don't like that we have these abilities that they don't. They don't like that. And you could be a man and still be a high priestess. But I will say that they don't like that. They feel like, and again, it's completely illogical for any government not to take care of their women and children. That is the next generation. And if you don't have women, let's see these men screw each other and create a baby. I'd like to see them try, since they want to discredit the divine feminine and take it away from the world. You know what I mean? Like, come on with that shit. You're here to bring about enlightenment, peace, freedom, and healing for people who were trapped in these types of situations that actually want liberation. And talking bad about, this is why I'm not a political person, but I don't like people who are liberal people who talk shit on their own country. I don't like that. Yes, we should still have free will, but I think that these people that talk so bad on the country that they live in, that gives them safety and everything, and gives them the ability to speak their mind, they should show some respect to that, because let these liberal crazy people go to another country and have their head taken off their shoulders for them being the way that they are. Then they'll realize, oh shit, I should have respected the country that actually supported me and let me be a crazy fuckhead and didn't take my head off my shoulders. Because again, a lot of these people that speak out so badly against America, it's like, come on, or against Canada or whatever else, saying that they're the abused people and all of this nonsense. No, they're doing the shit to themselves, okay? And we don't have to be happy with everything the government does. That's not logical, obviously. If the government's run by people, it's an imperfect system. However, we should have respect for the freedom that system gives us, where other people don't even have the free will to speak what they want to say. Or they're not even considered a human being. They're considered an animal in another place. So these people that are like, free Maduro, what are you talking about? This person that was sending deadly narcotics into our country, murdering many of our citizens and our children. What are you talking about? Free this substance seller person that wants to get their hands on nuclear weapons and destroy the world. Why are people so fucking insane? Look, you're going to be put in the spotlight, you guys. But what you have to say actually matters. These other people, they just repeat the words of others, and they don't mean anything because they take everything out of context. I also get that, like, these people want to invoke some type of law that goes against what this country and other countries. I mean, I don't know what Canada was founded on, but I do know America was founded on Freemasonry. It was also founded on freedom. Okay. And so they want to take away our freedom. And they believe that they can do that by invading us and coming in illegally and whatever other nonsense. No, like we are the type of people that we're not going to give up that easily. We're not going to just be like, oh, sure, go ahead. I mean, some places are allowing it because people are afraid to push back, but literally, no, it's not going to happen everywhere. And religion and state needs to be kept separate. The moment that somebody is in a religious, it is in a state of office, whether it's Congress, mayor, whatever the other ones are, like what are the other ones? Whatever type of position, if they're pushing a religious ideal or religion, whatever warfare type shit, they need to be immediately removed. There should be immediate impeachment upon that, or even pushing any type of racism. And I am talking about Mamdani, whatever his name is, saying that they need to get revenge on all white people. That's very inappropriate. This country was founded upon white people, and it was founded upon, to be quite honest, the people that really built this country were the slaves, but that's a whole nother conversation. And so I feel like those types of people need to be removed from office immediately. And if they're not, and maybe we should pass a law to where people that are in these religious cults or born in another country can't hold political office here. I mean, if it's going to be a threat to our country, then something needs to be done. Okay, because I personally do not want one world religion, and I don't want one world order. I want things to go in a way of peace. And the work that you do while you're here brings about peace. These people think that they can do witchcraft, go to witches and warlocks. I don't care, and I do pick up on slight things, like every time that I see like a ruler that has some type of like gemstone they wear continuously, and I pick up on the spiritual energy of that, like those are like totems, These people feel like, oh, well, I have these deep satanic connections or whatever, demonic connections. I can just, manipulate the system to get this pushed forward. And I will tell you this, it is not meant to be for any one ideal to take over the world. I feel like having different perspectives and different outlooks makes the world interesting. But I also think that anything that supports violence, abuse, or, disrespecting God's creation and what God has done goes against God. And I feel like witchcraft, when it's done on other people and other countries and stuff like that, I feel like it goes against God. So what you do could be exposing that. These people are going to push back against, they're going to push back against a system that does not care about their beliefs. Okay. Like these people could be like, oh, I'm a whatever, a Muslim, a Christian, whatever, a Jew, whatever it is that they believe that makes a saint, whatever. The law doesn't apply to me. They're going to find out that the law, if they're in our territory, the law applies to them. Okay. It's like just being a good person. This is why I respect Jesus so much, because he actually lived like a good person. He didn't do dirt to people. His work inspired the world to become better. His work reached the heart of many, and it didn't support violence, and he was not about that. You know what I mean? That's why he's so great, and I'm totally cool with him being king of everything, because he can be trusted. And this is why he was given the ability to turn water into wine, to walk on water and all that, because he can be trusted. These other people, they're upset that they don't have gifts that you possess. They can't be trusted. And when does the devil ever give anything that's long lasting? Never. It never does. It can't. Even when it pretends to be God. King of Wands. Just be the Queen of Wands and the King of Wands. These people think that by working together, they're stronger. They don't realize that what they're going to do is aggravate like the military, and aggravate martial law, and aggravate the citizens of this world, who are going to be like at some point coming together and starting militias and stuff like that. Okay. And these people can gather together and pray and disturb the peace to a certain point. And then once that trigger's been triggered, then it's going to be met with, not giving a F, kicking people's doors down and removing them from wherever they're at. If they want to do that stuff, they should go back to wherever they came from. But why they can't go back there is because their home is being destroyed, because what they were doing was so demonic and evil that the earth felt the need to cleanse these people from the earth. And now they want to spread their diseased mind and their disgustingness to the rest of the world, and the rest of the world is about to push back in a major way. And you're going to be part of that pushback, but you're going to do it through peace, not through warfare. Ace of Wands. And God is going to support you every step of the way, because you are actually acting for God. You're a reflection of God. And this is what people don't like. They don't want women to speak their mind. They don't want women to have power. They want total domination. But they also want to discredit. They want to take away the rights of children. They want to use and abuse people and treat people like they're not a person. You know what I mean? And like I said, the reason they're not allowed to stay in their area of the world is because the earth is tired of their behavior and the bad energy that they have. So these people are going to destroy themselves, and you're going to help all of the people that were under this spell, this religious spell, this ideology, this Freemasonry, whatever it is, you guys, satanic shit, whatever it is, that were under this spell. You're going to help these people rehabilitate their life with whatever business you create. 9 of Cups. And so that these people can find wish fulfillment and find a way to serve the world in a positive way that helps the highest and best good of everybody, not just one group of people. I don't think one group of people should ever be exalted above another, point blank, period. And it takes people of strong character. It takes people like you, people of very, very strong character, to be able to make a difference. And don't be afraid to speak your mind, okay? These people that are like talking bad on their own country, they should literally be sent for 2 weeks to another country and see how they like that. Like, seriously, see if they can survive even 1 week in another country. Their liberal asses will be begging, kissing the ground of America or Canada or whatever, begging to come the F back. All right. And so this is why I feel like, contrast is necessary, but at the same time, God wants things to move towards God, which is away from witchcraft, away from idolatry, away from kissing rocks and bowing down to weird shit and whatever other insane rituals are being done. And the extraterrestrials don't really care for people using their religious belief to get nuclear weapons or whatever. Like, the extraterrestrials are like, look, human race, I know that you guys are working through stuff, but get it together, because if we have to intervene, we're going to take away the weapons from everyone. And if they have to do that, I have no problem with them doing that. Like, I really do not believe in warfare. If it can be avoided, I wish that it's avoided. Okay, if people can come to God through peace, they don't have to go to Jesus, but God is love. Jesus is love. They don't have to accept Jesus as being a loving, kind savior, but they could, you know what I mean? And I'm not pushing religion on anybody. I'm not pushing Christ on anybody. I'm just saying that out of all of the options, Buddha and Jesus are the most peaceful. And it seems to me like people that are Buddhist monks are not violent, evil individuals, to my understanding. It seems like, Christians are not perfect, but if we at least move in the direction of God, which is unconditional love, joy, compassion, and peace, we will be doing better by ourselves and the world. And so that's why understanding our higher selves and that connection, you're here to bridge the gap in between God and the human mind. And that may sound really abstract, but it's not. You being an example of what a good person is and not doing it for show. You're not doing this stuff for show. You're doing it because you want to be a part of something bigger and you want to help, this world become a better place. And so do I. And that's why we do what we do. And if it makes us a target, why would we fear that? Even if we're targeted, God will protect us. Okay. The Chariot. Like, these people think that they can just scoot past the police, that they can, get past our systems that have already been put in place. And this is why I feel like people who are on the religious agenda, like how Mandami, the moment he got in office, he defunded the police, and then also legalized all these different crimes for people to be able to steal and loot and to, what is it called, squat in other people's homes and shit. He legalized all of that and then defunded the police. And then he lied to the people, told them that he was going to not tax the middle class people, not tax the poor. And the moment he got into office, that's the first thing that he did, was raise all of the taxes on the poor. And now he's trying to push out small businesses. He's such a disappointment and a failure and a literal shame. Like, God is so ashamed of him. He is going to get so much bad karma for destroying New York. And then in the future, New York, it was like it was the Big Apple. Like, it's such an important part of the United States when it comes to like getting approved to be president. If you don't have the support of New York, that's like a major loss. In the future, there's not going to be that many people in New York because people are leaving they're leaving like an exodus, okay, to get out of there. So it's really sad. We can look at these experiences and learn from them. You're going to help people make their dreams come true. I love that. Yes, they use them as tools and scapegoats. Exactly. And instead of funding, like, there was people literally protesting them building a homeless shelter. What is wrong with this world? Why can't there be homeless shelters to help the homeless? Why are people out there, liberal people, protesting against the homeless having a place to live? That is disgusting. This is why I just truly don't understand it, but I don't have to understand it to know that these people are obviously under the influence of something low vibrational. You're under the influence of something that's so high vibrational that it's an exact opposite to what these people have going on. The Emperor. And forget the fact that this person looks old. Look, you guys are going to be in a position of power to lead other people. You could be healing a relationship with God, a relationship with Father in heaven, a relationship with your actual Father on the earth, or you could be stepping in and being like, look, I will help guide you towards peace. That doesn't mean that you're the savior. It just means that you are an element of other people being able to get themselves out of the traps that they put themselves in. Okay, because we can't control people's minds. We can't control their beliefs. We can't control their whatever. That's not our job. And where these people are told to just they're literally told to shut the F up and not ever question anything. That to me is psychotic. Like, that's crazy. So we just have to be able, as a united as one race of people, to do the right thing, to choose to do the right thing. Right? The more of us that come together in oneness, whether it's through Christ or just being a light worker, whatever way, the better the planet's going to get. And the more scattered these chaotic people who want to destroy everything, who have lied, betrayed, stolen, cheated, and scammed their way through getting into office or doing whatever, these people will be met with resistance. They should be deported. Okay, especially if they're not even citizens. There should not be anybody holding any type of office if they're not a citizen. Okay, if they weren't born in the country. And if they haven't done anything to pledge their allegiance to doing right by the country, that just goes to show you that we're allowing, a lot of bullshit to go on. 8 of Cups. See, there's going to be a lot of people running away, totally dissatisfied and tired of the current situation. They want answers. Well, the answers are within you. Okay. The 8 of Cups is like these people, having to leave their job, having to leave their city, having to relocate. That's a sad thing. But also, it's what's going to happen when people abuse their power. They get into a certain position or office, they abuse their power to the ultimate max, and then it causes the downfall and destruction of something that was founded upon freedom, and it takes away freedom completely. And so I feel like, don't concern yourself with what these people who abuse their power are doing. Allow the military and martial law and all that other stuff and the police to concern themselves with that. You concern yourself with how you're going to lead yourself out of darkness and then show other people how to do that for themselves. Okay. Through whatever way, if it's art, singing, dance, acting, whatever it is that you want to do, creating a company that actually helps rehabilitate people, whatever it is that you feel called to do. 9 of Pentacles, you're going to be always standing on your own 2 feet, stable, because this is what is meant for you. Okay. Now, these people that are coming in illegally, that are doing all of this stuff they should have no business doing, they want this stability and they feel like they can just take it from us. Good luck with that. Like I said, you're going to help people become stable. If they want to become stable, why don't they get a job? Why don't they do the right thing? Why don't they stop, committing crimes if they want to be a stable person? They don't have to, they can't take anything from you, and, I really feel like there's going to be a massive change, a massive shift that happens. There will be a divide, there will be a divide between a certain situation, but our forefathers fought way too hard for our freedom so that we could be free from England, have the freedom of speech, and have the freedom from religion and all of that. Like, for us to just give up that freedom and give up that oneness, that's wrong. That's treason in my mind. That's treason. So you're doing the right thing. God's showing you every little step that you're taking is going to make this world a bigger place, a better place. And I'm okay with the world shifting and these people that want to invade, dominate, terrorize, control, manipulate, abuse, take over, steal, rob, kill, do the devil's work, rape, murder, and destroy. I'm okay with these people being separate from the rest of everybody else. Okay. And the reason that they don't have a home, they should look to their God, that's the devil, and ask them why they no longer have a home. Okay. 4 of Swords. Because this is going to be an end of a battle for a lot of people. And they just need to stop trying to change everybody else and turn everybody else into them. We are not like that. Not everybody is going to be okay with committing crimes against others. Not everybody. And there will be people like you and me that have the power to stand up, that are not afraid to die, that we know that God protects us, and we also know that we serve a bigger purpose. And these people, their witchcraft will backfire on them. Okay, what else do we need to know? You're going to get some good news soon. Probably that a business idea is approved, that a loan is approved, that some type of support's coming in. Like I said, you are the biggest priority. Why these people want to steal, rape, kill, and dominate, terrorize, and destroy, why they want to do that is because they don't have a blessing from God. Okay, their blessing comes from the devil, which means it's probably nothing worthwhile, nothing permanent. And nothing that these people say will ever hold up in a court of law. So again, these people can be lawless as long as they stay wherever they're at. Seven of Pentacles. They're still waiting for their God to do something to turn things in their favor. It's not going to happen. It's just literally not ever going to happen. Like, these people knowingly, they're figuring out that they have been worshiping a devil that they believe is God, and the devil was always going to betray these people. It was never going to keep its word. So where they're sitting around waiting for things to go in their favor, these people are stupid. The devil is going to 10 of swords every single one of these people, every single one of them. And that was the first card for them, was the 10 of swords. This is what's the future. Like, you get a brand new beginning and a fresh start, and these people get the 10 swords in their back. And you don't have to say, oh, they worship the devil. What's going to happen to them is going to prove to the rest of the world and everyone else that obviously they worship the devil. If their God put them in the 10 of the swords, and Mother Nature itself felt the need to destroy these people and where their homeland is, then it is what it is. That's not something a human is doing. Okay. All right, let's get one more. 8 of Wands. It's going to bring these people to a crossroads, but I suggest that you don't let them in. Don't let them project their bullshit. Don't let them come in and say, oh, we're going to invoke a new law. No, if it's not in alignment with the Constitution, then we don't care what it has to do with. Okay. If it's making our country unsafe, we don't care. And another point is, you're protected by God. Okay. One nation under God, not one religion under God, one nation under God. And these people are burdened because they serve the devil. Point blank, period. They're at a crossroads because they serve the devil. They don't have anybody giving them wise advice. That's why you're needed, okay? Like, literally. The world. These people, they want the entire world. It doesn't belong to the human race. We don't own this planet. We don't. And anybody that thinks that they do is delusional, and will be shown that that's not the way. So yeah, this could be a change of job for you. It could be you relocating. This is a blessing. Okay. And also pray that these people have an awakening, that they find God, that they find their higher self. Pray that they find their soul. I'm 100% certain that these people do not have souls, because they serve the devil, and the devil has taken their, what a conscience is, being able to reason, know right from wrong. The devil's taken that from them. And that, to me, is a part of their soul. So these people, you're dealing with people that don't have a soul. 10 of Cups, and you're going to get the world and your happiness as well. Okay. So you get to have a happily ever after. And these people see that, and they're like, let's go take these burdens, cast it on them, use them as a scapegoat, sacrifice them. And they're not going to be able to do that. Okay. Now, if the entire community and group of people that are the citizens of the country decided to vote for somebody to be in office that would allow this bullshit, then we like literally, we would have already been destroyed. If the other person would have won, and I'm not saying Trump is perfect, but I'm just saying that if the other person would have won, what they would have allowed to happen, our country would have been destroyed, and we would not exist now. And I saw that as the future. That was the ultimate future of what was going to happen. See, God is going to ensure that you have everything that you need and more. Yes, you tell them about God and they laugh at you. Well, they're not going to be laughing. Like, look, they're the ones that drink the Kool-Aid. That's why they're burdened. They drank the Kool-Aid. They're going to experience some type of religious, psychic, unexplainable event, and they're not going to be able to deny that their God is the devil. Point blank, period. You're going to continue to be very stable. You're going to help other people when they're in need by you helping yourself, creating a business that inspires others. And these people will want to be a part of it, but their foolish behavior has led them very close to walking off that cliff right there. All right, one more message. The Hermit. Isolate from these people. Don't allow them into your families. Don't allow them into your community. Don't allow them into your spaces. If these people are trespassing, violating, disrespecting, see, like, this is why I feel like Mom Donnie needs to immediately be removed from office. And I freaking mean immediately. He approved the mosques to be able to send their broadcast of time to do prayers, because we're so afraid of the jinn that we have to pray all these different times a day and kiss the ground and fucking idol worship this other shit. He's like literally allowing those broadcasts to be done at 5 o'clock in the morning. That is disturbing the peace of the people. He's wanting to terrorize the world. He is literally, in my opinion, he is the definition of a terrorist. His biggest accomplishment is being a Muslim, not being the mayor. And that's what he's stated multiple times. He's made his allegiance. He's chosen his side. His side is Satan, okay? And that's why everything that's going on in New York is falling to shit. He's going to be blamed, and there's going to be many people that come after him. And he'll be wishing that he would have just walked away from office. Because again, trying to destroy the United States from within for a religious organization is treason. And he should be arrested immediately and deported back to wherever he came from. But that's just my opinion. You guys will have to let me know what you think in the comments. King of Swords. There will be somebody that judges this stuff. Just know that these people are about to be up under judgment, okay? I mean, like, very literally. Because there's too many people that have a correct brain that are like, yeah, this stuff is not right. This shouldn't be happening, any politician that promises one thing, like, this is why you have to put your trust in God and not in politics. Because any politician that promises one thing and then the second they get in office, they do the exact opposite, that person is an enemy of the state. And there should be an immediate impeachment process that is done. Not only that, these Democratic scammers, there's a lot of billion and $1 million scams that have been going on through the Democrats that just need to be stopped. Because again, that money, those resources could be used on veterans, homeless people, and people who actually are disabled, women and children who need assistance, okay? It could be funded to stop, trafficking and stuff like that. Those funds that are being completely wasted, misused, and basically harvested and stored by people who are greedy, that say that they serve the public by being a liberal democratic piece of shit. Those people should be deported and sued, okay? And that's what's going to happen to them. There are scams. People are looking into, how all of a sudden you got into office and now you're a multi-million or multi-billionaire. Where'd that money come from? These people think because they hold a position of power, nobody will look into their finances. That's not true. So you just keep doing the right thing. Even though things may seem to be falling apart, you're going to shine a light on a path that anybody could take to a better destination, okay? And that's us loving each other. And again, I'm not judging these people. I'm just saying that, God is displeased, the universe is displeased, everything that's divine is displeased. Even their devil that they worship is not happy with them. So, they will self-destroy themselves, okay? And the people that want to get free, those are your people. Those are the people. There's still people in these organizations. We can't judge everyone. We can't judge people. There are people in those organizations that are trapped, that want to be free. That's what you're going to be here to help do, okay? All right, you guys. So I'm going to talk about the 2 books that I was talking about at the beginning of this reading. The first book is called The Truth of God. It's an advanced intuitive living workbook written by Michael Steadman, Michael Steadman. I'm going to read the back of it. The truth of God is an evolutionary encounter with that which we know as God, gaining new perspective into who we are and from where we came. First, the journey of God takes you to the realm where it all began, making many discoveries along the way. Next, the story of God explains what has seemed to be indescribable, creation and the path that led to what we perceive to be reality. Last, in the spiritual workbook, Michael gives information and techniques that will allow us to free ourselves from those ideas and emotions that are hindering our spiritual progress, and methods to open up the channel between the conscious mind that we are aware of and the inner consciousness that many are becoming aware of. So, the techniques I use out of this book, I'm going to describe them really quick. The God technique gives me the ability to raise my consciousness so that I can be looking out through the eyes of God and see everything from a bigger picture, which just basically it gets you unstuck from the ego and it helps you raise your vibration. When something comes up to me that doesn't feel good in my personal life, I go straight to the God technique because I know if I can vibrationally get above it, then I can get past it, or I can at least start to get past it. But if I'm still below it vibrationally and feeling like it's out of my control, then I'm, it's just like that powerless feeling like I felt growing up with having abilities and not understanding them because I was adopted and nobody told me what was going on, right? Because they didn't know. And then there's the joy versus anger technique, which gives you the ability, it works on clairsentience, which is like a gut feeling. But when you see me asking yes and no questions in the reading, I'm not asking whatever. I'm literally doing the joy versus anger technique. And so when you can ask questions and get an immediate yes and no response from your higher self God, you can start to be divinely led. And now, like before, when I didn't know about, because I've been using the techniques in this book for 10 years with success. Before, when I didn't know about asking questions, I would just let my gifts work on their own. And then I would hope that things went well. But now I save so much money by asking questions like, do I need this? Should I buy this? And I avoid tragedies. And the only time I run into stuff that I really, really don't like is if I forgot to ask a question or I didn't ask the right question. So then there's the 1 to 10 technique. This book will teach you how to get compatibility on any situation in your life, 1 being the lowest compatible, 10 being the highest. Okay. And then you can use, the joy versus anger technique to ask more questions about why the compatibility is what it is. And you don't have to be psychic to use this book. Like I said, it works on clairsentience, which is the gift that everybody has. Then there's the mind technique, which is so important, okay? The mind technique gives you the ability to use the mind like the tool that it should be so that you can clear those thoughts and beliefs that created the situation that doesn't feel good. So in my life, I go God technique, rise above it. Joy versus anger technique, if it's necessary to ask questions about the situation that I'm rising above. Then I go 1 to 10 ratio. Where is this falling on compatibility scale? And then I go, let's get rid of the mental and emotional baggage. And I do the mind technique to clear that. And that by doing all of that, the reality shifts. But it is a combination of that. And again, these are just, this book is a book of techniques from everything from prayer to meditation to grounding. You use the technique until you don't need them. When I first started working with the truth of God, I was having to sage every single day, which was very bad for my health, might I add, because like breathing and the smoke and all that. Now I don't have to sage. Okay. Like the more that I do the God technique, the less of that elevator ride of consciousness gap there is. And the closer that I am to God's consciousness, the higher my vibration is. That raises by you changing the vibration in you, it changes the vibration on the outside of you. So again, you do go through an evolution. So this is me throwing you guys a bone. I don't get paid to promote this book. This is literally how I have found to navigate life myself. So the link to that is in the description box below. I have the Amazon link and the KINDLE link for those of you that are outside of the US. The second book I'm going to talk about, if you want to learn a little bit more about tarot, is Vassago Tarot Card Spreads and Spells. Now, I wrote this book, and Vassago, Vassago, this is because I didn't have anybody to teach me how to read cards or anything like that. Vassago came forward as a spirit guide. Now, Vassago is an Ars Goetia spirit that King Solomon worked with, but when King Solomon was building his temple and was working with the Ars Goetia, Vassago is just a spirit that can basically see past, present, and future by recognizing that history repeats itself and there's patterns. Now, when King Solomon was asking Vassago a bunch of questions, Vassago was like, look, dude, you're cool and all, but we have to bow down to Jesus. And King Solomon was way before Jesus. And so he was like, look, I know that you're like demanding all of this stuff from us, but like, we don't really have to listen to you. We bow down to Christ. And so I just think that that's so funny that he said that to Solomon, and Solomon was like, what? Who's Jesus? You know what I mean? Because Jesus hadn't come yet, but the spirits knew. So now he is such a more high in demand spirit to work with, because now I wrote Vassago Tarot card spreads and spells with God and the Holy Spirit and Vassago off of the original Rider-Waite Tarot. So this is the original. I have this exact deck with the description on the cards linked in the description box below. If you learn these card interpretations, then when you go to any specialty deck, and it could be that one, it could be Santa Muerte Tarot, when they give you a card that has nothing to do with the real meaning of the card, you'll know the original, right? So then you can go to any other tarot and learn that. But how Vassago explained it to me is that this is how tarot works. Now, while you're a human, you will experience every card in the tarot deck. That's how it maps human consciousness throughout your life. And so this book is to help you integrate the energies of the major arcana cards. So you can dissect the tarot into two sections. One section's the minor arcana, and that's the page energies, which is the child energies, the knights, which is people that are like usually hero energies. They're very fleeting though, but they're like in their 30s. Then you have the queens, the kings, people that are in their 30s and 40s. And then you have the aces, which is the energies that come from God. The tens, which are the completion energies, like a completed project or a completed situation. Then you have the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And you have the aces, or I'm sorry, the pentacles, which represent money. You have the cups, which represent love and happiness and joy and peace. Then you have the wands that represent magic, projects, divine inspiration, passion, and you've got the swords, which represent self-defense, protection, etc. So that's the minor arcana. Now the rest of the deck there's 22 cards that are the major arcana, the major transitions, like the Hierophant, the Strength, the Lovers. So you can use this book one of two ways. You can either go from the beginning, because for each of the major arcana cards, there's 22. There's going to be a tarot card spread and a spell. And I use the word spell very loosely because they're spells that you do with God and the Holy Spirit on yourself. There's no way to use them on anybody else. Judgment. That's another major arcana. The Hangman. Let's see, which one do I want to read from today? So I wrote this book. I was basically told that the major transitions are the most important. So you can either go from the beginning of the book to the end. It does, and there's no wrong way to use it. It does start off with a 14 zodiac tarot card spread where you'll shuffle the entire deck. And then when you're ready to pull the cards, you'll pull 2 cards for each position. One card will be your south node where your ego's at. The Devil's another major arcana. The other card will be your north node where your destiny's at. And then it gives you information. This will help you to become a better reader. It'll give you information on how to step into your destiny and to integrate the positive attributes of other zodiac signs. And then the spell that goes along with that is to connect with your destiny. Let's see, the Fool, the Tower, the Death, the Moon. I want to read from the Magician. I think I want to read from the Star, the Sun. I think I read the Sun yesterday. Here we are, the Star. Okay. So this book starts off with a disclaimer that I am so okay with you guys using. Again, the disclaimer is like just telling people that they need to use their discernment. You know, and it says for this book, you will need to use your best discernment. Feel free to take what resonates with you and leave what does not for the person that it's meant for. And anyways, I'm cool with you guys using that disclaimer whenever you do a reading. Then there's a prayer that's much longer than the prayer that I do at the beginning, but it does pray for you and for the person that you're reading for, if you're reading for somebody else. And then there's an initiation that you can do with Vassago if you choose to. Now, I'm comfortable with him because he's very loving, compassionate, caring, and kind. And like I said, he bows down to Jesus. And he works in alignment with Christ energy. And so he helps when you're pulling cards for yourself, you're usually looking for a certain situation to occur, right? So like you could be missing what's actually there. Vassago has helped me see what's actually there when I'm pulling cards for myself. And so that's why I put the initiation with him. If you choose to work with him, he will help you to see what's actually there. Okay, so let's see what page the star is on. So basically you do the tarot card spread first. So let's say you have a friend that comes over that has a love situation. You could go straight to the lovers. Or you got somebody that comes over and somebody just passed away. You could go to the death tarot card spread. So you do the tarot card spread first. It gives you all of the information that you need. And then you do the spell that goes along with it right after. So let's see. The star 222. And I'll read a little bit so that you understand how it works. So each of the tarot cards is going to have a number value. It's going to have a yes, no, or maybe. So you can use it as yes, no, or cautious is what it actually is. And then it's going to have a zodiac sign association. So again, there's so many ways that you can read the cards and be asking additional questions. Okay. So the star, I have to cover up her boobies, but you guys get the gist of what this card looks like. The star tarot card is the number 17. The answer is yes, and the zodiac is Aquarius. This is the card of inspiration, insight, intuition, and hope. Any dreams for the future will come true. The gift of prophecy, contact with someone who will dramatically change your life, predicts a strong love between two people, entering a period of serenity, joy, and satisfaction. A calm period of contemplation or meditation, deja vu, good dreams, psychic downloads from the universe, all emotional needs are met. Use your spiritual gifts and share your good fortune. So you'll shuffle the entire deck and you'll pull one card for each position. I'm going to read position. So we have, it starts with position 1, Aquarius, position 2, Uranus, position 3, star essence, position 4, comet Chiron. I think I read that one the other day. Position 5, Aquarius ascendant. I think I'll read. Then we have position 6, midheaven, 10th house. Position 7th, 12th house. Okay, I'll read the midheaven one. How about that? That's position 6. Okay, so this card position shows you your work ethic, public status, and personal achievements in the current moment. What life goals, career goals, and greatest plans that you have for your life may become very clear for you in the card that you pull for this position. The midheaven 10th house relates to your career and understanding the essence of your character, who you actually are when push comes to shove. Are you more bark than bite? The level of success and fulfillment you may achieve relates to the zodiac sign represented in your 10th house. The card that you pull for this position may show to you your sense of purpose and contribution to your community regarding your career and life accomplishments. If you pull the star tarot card for this position, then you will know that you're using your star power for a humanitarian cause will provide you more purpose to your life. If you pull the strength tarot card for this position, then you will know that you have a higher strength assisting you in this lifetime. If you pull the death tarot card for this position, it can reveal an immunity to death energy and death magic. Yes, some people are immune to that. You may also be suited to work in a field of death as being someone who works in hospice or a morgue. Working with death may be compatible for you if you pull the death card for this position. If you pull the magician tarot card for this position, then you are well suited for a career in magic, healing, energy work, or shamanism. Then the star tarot card spell is to manifest a wish. Okay, so I'm going to go to the back of the book. So when you're doing these readings, if you were to pull more than one of the major arcana cards out together, I would go to the back of the book and look up the first one that you pull and see what it says if it's got that card combination. And if it doesn't, then I would go to the second one that you pull, because it definitely means something when you pull more than one of the major arcana cards out together. Okay, so I'm going to read a little bit from the star in the back of the book. So the star is a card of inspiration, divination, astrology, predictions, prophecy, destiny, dreams, and wishes come true. The star can show you what traits and qualities that you naturally possess that enhance the quality of your life and the life of those around you. Psychic impressions and spiritual intuition, mental fitness and powerful third eye awareness. The star has a spark of passion that cannot be put out. When you pull the star card with any other card, it could point to the abilities that you have in relation to the cards that are pulled surrounding the star. So if you pulled the star and the magician, that would relate to you having your own magic and having magic that comes from the stars. If you pull the star and then the fool card, it can indicate that you're not aware of your star power. If you pull the star in the reverse and then pull the devil, it could indicate that you need to call your power and rebuke the devil, call back your power and rebuke the devil in your life. The star in the reverse indicates that a mental illness can affect you or the ones that you love. And it just keeps going on and on and on, you guys, but you get the gist. You get the gist. This is Vassago, Tarot Card Spreads and Spells. The link to this book is in the description box below. If you're interested, it's written by me, Astraea Love. I'm sorry that it's backwards. Like, I've tried to download apps to get the mirror effect to go away, but they want you to pay money and I don't want to pay money for it. So anyways, the link to this is in the description box below. And the link to the original Rider-Waite with the description on the cards that you'll want to use with this book is also in the description box below. And the link to the Truth of God is in the description box below. When you guys have time and energy and some extra money, I would really invest in these books because they're life-changing. And you can use these tarot card spreads over and over and over again. And I use the techniques in the Truth of God every day. All right, you guys, I love you so much. Thank you for making it to the ending of this reading. God bless you. I'm so proud of you. Wow, we got to 102 likes. That makes me so happy. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. God bless you guys. Make sure you subscribe, tap the notification bell, and like the video, hype the video. Also, you guys, I do have another platform called the Psychic Tarot Angel Oracle. And on that platform, we use Oracle cards and tarot cards. All right, you guys, I love you so much. Have a wonderful evening. Okay. Peace be with you. God bless you guys. And I'll see you in the next one. Okay. Bye.